Andrew, so you didn't do anything at 9. You didn't trade up or anything. You just stood at 9.
Yeah.
So who's available at 9?
This was a tough one, actually. So yeah, Thomas, you can unveil the available players, please. This was a tough one. I feel like there's a justifiable case for taking all these guys. Obviously, the Saints need a quarterback, so Shedeur is there at 9. Ashton Jeanty, the running back out of Boise State.
Wait a minute. How are these guys available still at 9? What were the settings on your draft?
Yeah, I mean, McMillan's there. So these are all options, and then another. I mean, dude, I looked at the picks that went 1 through 8, and it was all like, yep, I could see that happening. Like, it's not inconceivable. Like, Jeanty falling was a little surprising, and Tyler Warren too. But like, the guys that went ahead, I think there was a tackle that went ahead after Campbell that I was a little surprised by. But yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't like, oh, there's no way this is happening. This is ridiculous. The other guy, Will Johnson, was still available, the cornerback for Michigan. And so I feel like you can make a justifiable case for him too. So there really were 5 players here where I was like, I could really go with any of these. So this was a tough call. Go ahead and reveal the pick, Thomas.
Them already? You're not asking other guys who they would have picked?
Oh, yeah, I mean, what do you... Yeah, do you guys...
I have an opinion. My opinion would be, I feel like if this is the way it fell to us, I feel like this is prime trade down position. Surely somebody's going to want Shedeur or Jeanty.
Or something. Yeah.
I think
if this was me, if this was real life, I'd be like, trade the fuck down.
If this is real life, Kevin, I really believe teams will be calling about Jeanty. The question that I would have is like, is Jeanty so high on the Saints board that he would be like, I think it's conceivable that he's like top 3 player on their board. Would the Saints be like, we're not trading down and getting an extra 4th round pick and not picking the dude who's 3rd on our board? Like, that's what I think the discussion would be. I think the Saints would probably take Jeanty, but they'd be getting, me and you would be enraged because they probably get some really juicy offers for him, I think.
Evan, your thoughts?
Oh, deception!
Don't disappoint me, Juja.
Juja Oppenheimer, 20 buckaroo, super chat.
Yeah, I would be with Dave. I would immediately be looking for the phone.
Yeah.
And seeing
shocker that you would say that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, now look, those 4 guys sitting in front of me, I'm taking Ty Warren.
Okay.
Oh, deception!
Cheers to our 2025 rebuild.
Damn, 28.3 donation from Maxi Hudat. It's been a while since we had the 28 to 3 donation, by the way.
We always love the 28 to 3 donation. Thank you, Maxi Hudat. So, all right, reveal the pick, Thomas.
All right, the pick is in. For the 9th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State.
Yeah, guys, I feel like I went against everything that I hold dear in terms of principles. Like taking a running back in the top 10, I would never do it.
Look at the highlights.
In some ways, I hate this decision, and yet I saw what Saquon Barkley did in the Kellen Moore offense last year.
Look at this.
And I'm just like, when you were to ask me, like, who are the best toys that Kellen Moore has in this offense, you've got a concussed Olave, you've got a broken Taysom Hill, you've got an ACL-less Shaheed, and you have Alvin Kamara, who's 30, and I don't really want Alvin Kamara chasing 1,000 yards. So that leaves me with Jeanty. Like, let's get this offensive guru. If he's really as special as I think he might be, let's give him a toy to play with. And who knows, maybe having no quarterback, maybe we can survive it and win a couple games if we have a superstar running back.
This Kevin is interesting because if this scenario happened, I don't think it would, but it would really put Saints Twitter in a bind because the two darlings of Saints Twitter are Shador and Genty. Like if I think if you polled Saints Twitter, those would be the two most popular people that they love the most. It would really put them in a bind. Which one do you take? I love this pick because it would the draft nerds, the analysts, it would infuriate them. Like if the Saints took a running back when they don't have a healthy quarterback on their roster that's any good, it would infuriate this would give people the Barnwells D+ for this pick. Maybe C if they're lucky. I kind of love it though. Kevin, it'll move a lot of jerseys. The Genty jerseys.
Oh wow, Ralph is complimenting my draft. Okay.
Are you seeing any of that money? If they move an extra 50 units on the jerseys, Ralph? I mean, I don't.
We can put Amazon links on the description maybe and get.
I don't care if they move units. All I care about is will this person make an immediate impact? Can they make an immediate impact?
Yes.
And can they help the team win?
Yes.
This is a possible impact player. This is an impact. I'll remove possible. This is an impact player. With this team, the way it is constituted, I don't know that he can make the kind of impact that he can make.
Especially without
like you said, there's no quarterback worth a damn on the team right now that's not injured. The offensive line, we already know what that is. We just said you already ran through Olave, Shaheed, Taysom, Kamara's over 30, even though he's still good. It's like, okay, we're gonna give the ball to this guy who looks like he was carved out of
interception! Disappointed. Wow. So disappointed, he is going to run behind hopes and dreams.
Open Heart! Disappointed in Juge taking us over the edge again.
It's.
What do we have here, Ralph? Some banana.
This guy looks amazing.
100 proof. 100 proof.
Genty looks amazing. The highlights look amazing.
Holy shit!
I'm just worried that he's gonna.
You better do.
He's going to come to this team and he's going to die a death.
I don't know what I'm torn, Dave, because now that he's got a running back, I'm torn. Does he need to go quarterback the rest of the way, or does he need to all linemen at 40, 71, and 93, just all
quarterback the rest of the way, meaning draft the quarterback
linemen
for
the rest
remaining
of the way.
Picks?
All offensive
you did say quarterback.
I don't think.
I think the Jaeger brew is starting to kick in.
I think the ship has sailed on a quarterback in the draft now. Like, I don't think you're going to draft a quarterback in the second or third round that's going to be your starter.
Dave, just you wait.
Oh my.
Wait, but serious question. Did you guys see when Deion Sanders retweeted that guy from ESPN when he said that 9th pick is going to be all kinds of interesting?
Yeah, that's right.
And then Deion quote tweeted it with the eyeball emoji. What the hell does that mean? I'm only bringing this up because Shador Sanders was available in your board.
That means Saints are trading up.
Saints Twitter's coming after you, Juge. You didn't take Shador.
I mean,
maybe, but you picked Genty, so they might let you slide.
Yeah, but I mean, what are we reading into that?
I think Deion
doesn't know anything. He's the kid's dad. He doesn't control who picks his son.
I don't think he controls who picks his son, Andrew, but I think Deion knows that it could be a struggle to get Shador picked in the first round, and he's trying to get him picked anywhere in the first round that he can.
Well, sure,
I think it means that the Saints have been talking to Shador and telling him, hey, we really like you, and it's a possibility that...
There's no way they're going to tell him, hey, we're taking you at 9. There's no way they're going to do that. No chance.
It's not the NBA.
Even if they're dead set on taking him at 9, there's no way they're calling Big Mouth Deion and being like, hey, we're going to take him at 9.
Yeah.
There is less than 0 chance they're doing that.
All right.
I'm not saying that they would say 100% yes, we're taking you. I'm just saying they could be
like you. We want to date.
They could be saying, hey, we really, really, really like your son Shador.
We really like you. Here we
Now,
go.
look,
I'm
this might all be a
And he's
smoke
definitely
screen.
an
The
option.
Saints might be lying, but I heard they have a second round grade on Shador.
Rob cannot wait to drink it, I can see.
I can pineapple. Here we go.
Also, while Rob's drinking, thanks to Rob Norton for $5 donation via
Thank
Stream
you, Rob.
Elements.
I think Rob just signed up today to become a patron.
Damn!
Nice.
Thank you, Rob. Here we go.
Shout out to Rob Norton. Oh, it looks worse than the Jaeger.
Whoa,
Damn.
whoa. That hit.
If you're
That's
not
a 9.
watching the video version, you're missing out, guys.
That is a 9er.
That's a Malort like. Damn.
We just had a first ever full
Whoa.
reversal of fortune.
Oh.
I literally had to force it all the way back down. It didn't. It tasted worse the second time. Oh, 9. My eyes. Oh,
9 it is. Damn.
Are we doing a mailbag after this?
we are. We are. And I'll be drunk.
So
as
was the
all.
third drink just in case?
Third drink can be dealer's choice. I don't want to touch the wire, but I have a giant box from Who Dat Golfer
Not
right
not
on the
not,
other side of the computer.
not
Dealer's
Malort.
choice. Wow, that's
I got Malort. Yeah, I do.
You're gonna
But I
you're
got
gonna
other kind of options from Who Dat Golf. I mean, from
you're gonna stick your hand in
Saints
Who Dat Golfer's box.
Ooh, no, it's not Who Dat. It's Saints Rabbits box. Who Dat Golfer sent me a ton of stuff. We've gone through
Oh,
it.
you're gonna stick your hand in Saints Rabbit's box.
That's right.
Hey,
Let's
Sally,
see
I need
Saints Rabbits.
assistance.
I do need assistance. So
You
let's
gonna
get to
go-
pick
you-
40.
You're gonna dig deep in there, or in his box.
okay.
3 fingers. Pick 40. Pick 40. What do we got going on here?
Oh, I thought you wanted.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Tell the people-
He's still available.
Shador,
on.
Door.
look like
Shador
he's
is
a
falling.
polarizing
Nobody
player.
wants that
A lot of
bitch.
A lot of teams have second and third
That's
round
right.
grades on Shador Sanders.
They do.
It's not that crazy.
It's not. I saw today Albert Breer said a lot of teams don't think he's going to go in the first round, but you got should.
Thomas, you messed this up.
So what do we have? We have
Tyler
Shador.
Shuck should not be up here. He's not one of the top 4 best available. That's not what I sent you.
No.
But he's on there. So we got Tyler Shuck,
No, fix it.
Gray Zabel, and Derek Harmon. You know, this is the thing. Andrew did this little okie doke thing.
You're missing Donovan Azariaku. He should
Oh,
be,
the edge defender from Boston College.
yes.
Here's the thing. Andrew's finagled this to where, Andrew, you're tired of being like the bad guy on the show. You're going to give Saints Twitter the draft of their dreams. You're going to give them Genty at 9, Shador at 40, and Saints Twitter is going to take back all the mean things that they said about Mickey Loomis for years and years, and they're going to praise him, and they're going to be super excited. They're going to get their running back. They're going to get their quarterback, and you're going to go viral, giving them the draft of their dreams. That's what you're doing here, isn't it?
Well,
I would take Gray Zabel here.
so
Is this called the bougie draft because you had the settings set to easy mode?
No, I didn't. But I will
You
say
can just
this.
pick whatever
Well,
you
first
want.
of all, Thomas screwed up because Tyler Shuck was not supposed to be on here, so he buried my punchline. He screwed up my punchline. But I was going to say these are the 4 best players available, including Shador Sanders, and I will be taking none of them because I am taking Tyler Shuck.
No, Commissioner announced.
Damn, I thought you forgot. That's why I included him. Like, I was surprised you forgot to.
No, it was on purpose.
Include him. That was on purpose. Then you should have,
Yep.
You should have let
that.
Thomas in on the joke.
Yeah. Right.
Commissioner announced the
Well,
pick.
don't blow it at 93 again, Thomas.
Oh, we're doing it again. Okay, got it.
Announce the pick, Commissioner.
All right.
Can we get some more money so that Ralph can dig deep
40th pick in
Saints Rabbits box.
2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Tyler Shaw, quarterback
Jesus
from
Christ, Jim.
Louisville.
So you know,
Jesus
he's
Christ, dude.
6'5". He's the prototype, right? When you look at just his arm strength, his size, he's been injured a lot. I have been told
Saints
that the
Twitter
Saints
is gonna
have
come
a
for
first
you.
round grade. I've been told the Saints have a first round grade on Tyler Shuck. Now, do they actually? Is it a smokescreen? Like, we'll find out. But my sources have told me that they really, really, really like this guy, and he may be as high as the number 2 graded quarterback for them. I think they have a first round grade on him. And if they were to trade down, I don't think they take him at 9 necessarily. But if they were to trade down, I think this is the guy. I think this is the guy that the Saints like. And there's your quarterback of the future. Now, is he going to play this year? Probably not. But, you know, you take him at 40, you let him compete with Rattler, and let's see what happens.
Saints Twitter has something to tell you, Juge. Play that soundbite, Thomas.
All right.
You lost your mind? What are you doing?
That's Saints Twitter to you, Juge. That is Saints Twitter to you. I worry for your safety. You might have to go and witness. Do they have witness protection in Charlottesville? Because you may need it if the Saints do.
Good
If the
question.
Saints do this, my God, if they pass on Shador not once but twice, my God, are you telling us, Juge, that they might pick Shuck? It's not. It's even though it's
Shuck.
Shuck. Like an
Yep.
oyster, like you shuck
Yep.
an oyster.
Yep.
They might pick him in
That
the
is
first
weird.
round.
What's that heritage?
I don't know if they have like the 9th overall. I think that would be a reach. I think that would be. But yeah, if they were to trade back to 17, then I think that pick is in play. I do.
Kevin, could you live
Could
with
they-
that? If they-
Well, let me say this honestly. If this was the situation, then the Saints should really trade down for somebody who wants Shador. They could probably get this guy Tyler at 71, maybe.
Probably
don't know
nobody
about
wants
that.
Shador. That's why he's falling. Come on, man.
I
Who
think
would trade out
there's
for
more
him?
than one NFL
Think
team
about
that
that.
has a first round
No,
grade on Shuck. I think he'll go by the second round for sure.
Okay, all right.
he's got a second round grade.
Well, either way, you could still trade down and trade back into later
Round
in the
one.
second round and still maybe get him.
I
Maybe.
think there's potential, Dave, that like Ward is the only quarterback taken in round 1, and round 2, the Jets, the Browns, the Giants, they're all lined up to take the quarterbacks. And if the Saints, they might panic, and you might have to get it in the end of round 1 or get to Tennessee at pick 1. And of course, that would anger Kevin. But Kevin, my question before we get to pick 71, how would you feel if the Saints traded down to like 17, 18 and took Mr. Shook at like 18 in the first round, but the Saints finally did what you wanted them to do and traded down? How would you feel about that?
I'd still be moderately happy overall because they did trade down. I'd want to see the haul. I'd want to know
Okay.
what they got for trading down that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're moving from 9 to 18, you're probably getting a pretty nice haul.
You're getting at least like a second round pick and a fourth round pick. Oh,
Yeah, 18 I think is the Bengals. I can't remember who has 17.
Dave, I think this could get you sold for Mr. Shuck. Nola Fredo has a great t-shirt idea. Truly shucked.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Truly. It wouldn't make, I guess it wasn't a great t-shirt idea.
I was thinking we could go more with, I mean, the seafood thing, like shuck the heads, pinch the tail, shuck the head,
Oh, yeah.
or something with
Or-
oysters. But
or-
the name Shuck definitely has some t-shirt potential.
Or shuck you, Andre Juge.
Yeah, or shuck you, Andrew Juge. Yeah, shuck you for picking me, Andrew Juge.
All right. What do we got at pick 71, Andrew?
Yeah,
Shuck the
Thomas,
Falcons.
Reveal the best players available, please, for our third round pick. Pick
All right.
number 71.
Yeah,
All right,
you can read the first one, Ralph, and second two.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
And
You
the
can
third
read
one.
all of them.
Yeah. Why don't you give these names your best stat?
Yeah. Thanks, Andrew. You can go to hell. Carson Schweisinger, JT Tyler Mulio, defensive end, Ohio State. Xavier Watts, that's an easy one. Jonah Saiva Inania, offensive tackle, Arizona. I mean,
Ralph
this
can't
is
say
not-
his name right.
That's got to be Savainea.
That is his nightmare fuel.
Ooh,
Eh,
yeah.
3 of
His
the
name
4
is Derek.
guys here for me.
Yeah. So, look, I think there's a few different ways you can go here. If you go running back, quarterback to start the draft, and you watch this defense at all last year, you got to throw a bone to your defensive coordinator if you're Kellen Moore. You're like, all right, we got to go on the other side of the ball here. I've hooked myself up with hopefully my quarterback of the future, or at least a nice developmental project, and a running back that's like a day one impact. So we gotta hook up the other side of the football.
I think, though, here's the question, Kevin. They need a defensive end because Cam Jordan's getting old. But if they aren't going to pick up Trevor Penning's option, I feel like offensive tackle is kind of a must with one of these 4 picks. So
But here's the
kinda
thing.
torn with this.
Here's the thing. Jonah Savanea can play, is projected to be a guard at the next.
He goes both ways.
Yes.
Hmm.
So honestly, I would be looking at taking him because you got a running back, you've drafted a quarterback. You need to improve the offensive line. Like, tell whoever you tell the DC, hang on, man. If we can't create gaps for this running back, and if we can't protect this guy trying to throw the ball,
And by the way, he's
your
injury
defense
prone as hell.
will be
Shuck
gassed
is.
anyway.
Shuck is injury prone, very injury prone.
All right, Thomas, let's see the pick.
Yeah.
Roger that. The pick is in. The 71st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select JT Tuimoloau, defensive end from the Ohio State.
Guys, it's not a proper Saints mock draft without an Ohio State player.
It's
We
not,
all know
really.
this. I mean, come
Yeah, it
on.
is.
This was the most obvious pick. The Saints have said, look, we want to build through the offensive and defensive lines. And look, defensive end, like, let's call it what it is. It sucks. Like, yes, we brought Chase Young back, but like Cam Jordan's cooked. Granderson is a decent role player, but then after that, there's really not a whole lot. I mean, we're hoping Foskey Bear can figure it out, but first of all, I was shocked that Tuimoloau, is that how you would say that?
Tuimoloau?
I'm not going to ask you, Ralph. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, he had 12 and a half sacks last year. He's a Raz God.
Like, no way he's here.
He especially caught fire in the last few games of the season in the college playoffs. So I don't really see him falling to 71. I was very surprised to see him here. It felt like tremendous value. I don't know if he's going to be here, but if he did, like, that's a sprint to the podium situation, I think. And you really do improve your defensive line, get a guy that can rush off the edge. You get your Ohio State guy, and this feels like a no-brainer.
Dave, your boy Alan makes a great point. Are we okay buying our defensive end off of Temu? Is that a good idea?
Off of Timu?
Yeah, is
So-
a good idea?
Well, what do you mean buying? I mean, drafting? Is that
Yeah,
what you're talking
because
about?
he's getting. You want to get
I guess
things off of
he-
Temu.
He
yeah.
doesn't like this pick, I guess. I don't know enough about this guy to honestly to
You should
to
ask
say
ChatGPT.
yes or no.
Ask ChatGPT if it's a good pick at 71.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Um,
All right.
Some people
At
want a
71?
linebacker, Andrew, surprisingly. They say linebacker's going to be devastated soon with no answers. CJ Mosley, they want to get CJ Mosley in free agency. CJ Mosley's like 100 years old.
Yeah.
But I got to say, Kevin, I don't like to give Andrew compliments because it just, but this is I kind of like this draft. Like, I kind of like it. Like, if he could figure out something at offensive line at 93, I really like it. He'll screw it up.
I can
some
tell.
kind of
I can
way.
tell you that there should be at least one option at 93.
All right, let's see
let's
it.
see it.
That's on the offensive line.
Let's see it.
All right.
All right, so we got 4 available. We got Demetrius Knight, linebacker, South Carolina. Isaiah Bond, wide receiver, Alabama. Josiah Stewart, defensive end, Michigan. And Ozzie Trapillo, offensive tackle, BC, son of former Saint Steve Trapillo.
Yeah, well, you're stealing my material, Ralph. But yeah, Thomas blew it again. I was going to have a surprise reveal. We're missing Wyatt Millen, who would have been number 4 on the best available. Yeah, I mean, look, Isaiah Bond, you could go receiver here. A lot of you were talking about linebacker. That would be an option. Josiah Stewart obviously probably makes a little bit less sense since he's a defensive end, and we just took that at 71. So, yeah, there are some options here. I don't know if you guys have any opinion on who we should go with.
I just feel like
Kevin's disappointed.
Here's the thing.
No trade downs? What the
there's
fuck is this? Come on,
trades.
man.
Here's the thing.
That's disgraceful, man.
I just find it hard to believe that I don't think any of these players are going to be available at these slots. Like, this draft would be amazing, but like, it would also be amazing if both my hands work. Like, but it's not possible. Like, I just feel like this. I don't know. Like this.
Oh, I think these guys could easily be there.
I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Isaiah Bond is a 5'11" wide receiver. Josiah Stewart, as I think if I remember correctly, he's like a 6'1" defensive end. Demetrius Knight, I don't know if he'll be there at 93.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good pick. Like, out of those 4, he's the best of that bunch.
Yeah. Isaiah Bond has like a sexual assault case right now.
Yeah.
So he's gonna
Jesus
ball.
Christ.
Yeah.
Ozzie Trapillo.
When has that ever stopped you from drafting somebody, Andrew?
Ozzie Trapillo.
You literally waited on somebody who was in jail.
He's
And
gonna
you-
fit
you
right in
son
with
of a
your
son.
son, Juge.
I kind of
Anywho, Ozzie Trapillo, I'm not vibing with. Like, if Juge, the guy Juge mentioned, Wyatt Millen, he's listed as a tackle, but he's supposed to be a guard in the NFL. That's the guy that you should be taking at 93.
Well,
is a
that is
guard.
an option. Yeah, the offensive linemen that you could take here are Millen and Ozzie Trapillo. Yep.
Andrew, it's still jarring that you can mention any name in the draft and Kevin can just spout off measurements, their position versatility,
Yeah.
Dick size.
boom. Like all of it. Like he knows all of it. It's still 4 years in of him being our draft expert. It's still jarring. But anyway, Thomas, give us the pick.
I am correct. Josiah Stewart, 6'1", 245.
Yeah,
Wow.
Very weird.
All right. Reveal the pick.
Right, reveal the pick, Thomas.
The 93rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Ozzie Trapillo, offensive tackle
Yeah, see, you
from
made-
Boston College.
You made Kevin mad.
Okay, so here's the thing. Ralph said, if I get an offensive lineman with this last pick, I'm really gonna love this draft. So,
Dude.
Ralph, I'm delivering for you. This is a legacy pick. If you're
Is
my
that Brittany
age, you'll
Mahomes?
remember Steve Trapillo, R.I.P. He was a pretty solid guard for the Saints. So his dad,
Wait, is he dead?
He's dead. Yep. Ozzie Trapillo's dad, Steve, played for the Saints as a guard for the Saints. Ozzie is 6'8", and he's probably a right tackle in the league. And if you look at his measurement, obviously he's absolutely massive. But the thing to really like about him is he's got pretty good technique. He's a pretty good player. And really the big thing that's missing from his game is just upper body strength. So they're saying that he's about 10 pounds light and then he could use some weight and gain a little bit of weight. And like, of all the things from a prospect, when you look at offensive linemen in particular, the thing that always scares me the least is he needs to add a little bit of weight, because all the prospects are going to do that in the NFL. They're going to gain strength. They're going to work at their craft. They're going to be in an NFL weight room. They're going to be committed to building, not that they don't do that in college, but it's just they're going to get in a more refined regimen and they're going to get nutrition dialed in. So I just feel like that's the least of my concerns when it's this guy needs to gain some weight. And so, look, I think Ozzie Trapilo needs to grow into his body. But anytime you get a guy that's NFL lineage, whose dad has played in the league, I think from a young age, he was given kind of the advice about how to kind of develop his craft. And when you look at the Saints at right tackle, right, we have, I don't know that Trapilo is going to be your guy this year, but Penning remains a massive question mark at right tackle. And at a minimum, you have a guy breathing down his neck who's creating some competition. And hopefully in a year, you can walk from Penning if we're getting more of the same from that player, because we've developed in Trapilo a guy that can take over at right tackle.
Dave, it disgusts me how much I like this draft. It really does. It really does.
Oh, you like it?
I
guess that's not surprising.
I think if there were things I would admit, like, look, there's other positions I would like. Like, I would have loved to have gotten like a possession receiver or a tight end. It would have been nice to get a corner. So there's a lot of things that I didn't do here, but I just feel like no matter what the Saints do with these 4 picks, like, you're going to live with regrets because there's too many holes on the roster. But I tried to fill them as best as I could.
Yeah.
I think it could be.
You best come hard.
I think it could be improved upon. I think I would probably trade down at number 9 instead of taking Genty. I think I'd probably trade down. I'd maybe get somebody else, and you could
Get some
probably
help.
Then you could probably still get Tyler Shuck with whatever extra pick you get, and so I don't know. I think it could have maybe maximized it a little bit more. But I mean, the picks themselves aren't horrible. I don't hate.
Would you? I know what Kevin.
And if what you say, I mean, the thing is, like, if what Andrew says is correct, like if that's actual legit information, and like they really do like Tyler Shuck and they like him more than even a Shedeur Sanders, and they go and they draft this guy. If they draft Tyler Shuck, Andrew wins the mock draft contest for sure.
I know I'm not going to ask Kevin this because I know his answer, but Andrew, if I told you you can't have Genty, but you can have another top 60 pick, would you rather the extra top 60 pick or would you rather Genty?
Genty.
Interesting. And I just
your
case about how much holes they have, it makes me think.
Look, I mean, if you told me that they would move down from 9 to, let's call it 11, right? And at 11 they get, let's say, the corner from Michigan.
Will Johnson. Yeah.
Yep, Will Johnson or Ty Warren, like they get one of those two at 11, and you get another top 60 pick, then yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with that trade. My fear is that you drop too much, and some of these guys in this cloud of 5 that we were looking at 9, they're all gone. And so maybe you're taking Shuck at 17 instead of 40, right? And then you got the extra pick at 60, but it's like, was that really worth it? That's where I start.
Oh, shucks.
Thanks for watching the Saints Happy Hour. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, then find us wherever you get your podcast, and finally go to saintshappyhour.com and become a patron of the best Saints podcast on earth.